A good man is hard to find by Flanner O'Connor. Characters: Grandmother, The Misfit, Bailey, Bailey's wife, John Wesley, June Star, Red Sambat, Red Sam's wife, Bobby Lee. Conflict: person versus person, person versus self, person versus God, person versus nature. Theme: finding grace, prejudice, family. Setting: the story takes place on and around backcountry roads in the South. The family lives in Atlanta and is traveling through Georgia on their way to Florida. The family stop at a place called the Tower for barbecue sandwich, owned by a man named Red Sammy and his wife. Plot summary: a grandmother is traveling with her family, her son Bailey, his wife, and their 3 children, from Atlanta to Florida for a vacation. The grandmother, who would prepare to go to East Tennessee, informs the family that a violent criminal known as the Misfit is loosely in Florida, but they don't change their plans. The grandmother secretly brings her cat in the car. They stop for lunch at Red Sammy's famous barbecue, and the grandmother and Red Sammy commiserate that the world is changing and a good man is hard to find. After lunch, the family begins driving again and the grandmother realizes they are near an old plantation she once visited. Wanting to see it again, she tells the children that the house has a secret panel and they clamor to go. Bailey reluctantly agrees. As they drive down a dirt road, the grandmother suddenly realizes that the house she is remembering is in Tennessee, not Georgia. Shocked and embarrassed by the realization, she accidentally kicks over her belongings, releasing the cat, which jumps onto Bailey's head and causes an accident. A car slowly approaches them, and the misfit and 2 young men get out. The grandmother recognizes him and says too. The 2 young men take Bailey and his son into the woods, and shots are heard. Then they take the mother, the doctor, and the baby into the woods. More shots are heard. Took out. The grandmother pleads for her life, telling the misfit she knows he's a good man and entreating him to pray. He engages her in a discussion about goodness, Jesus, and crime and punishment. She touches his shoulder, saying, "Why, you're one of my babies. You're one of my own children." But the misfit recoils and shoots her. Plot orientation: start in the first of the story when they have a plan to go Florida, but grandmother prefers to go as Tennessee. Rising action: when they start their trip by a car, grandmother wishes to visit a house that she knew growing up, and talks the kids into wanting to go after shopping a sounding little barbecue joint. Car accident on the way. 3 men toward the family. The grandmother then recognizes one of them as notorious murderer, the misfit. Climax: the misfit and his crew examine the scene and analyze the car, while grandmother is pleading and throwing life advice at the misfit. The men execute the family members, and eventually the grandmother's lass. Falling action: men show no remorse in the murder, even likely laughing. Resolution: The misfit kills grandmother and says she would have been a good woman if it had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life. Moral message: everyone can be a good person, even he or she a worse one. Family is everything. Never stop giving advice to someone else. Whatever your problem, never forget to pray. Thank you for watching.